for many years, if you went on Google and searched the words Asian nerd, I would be the number one.
The man. Wow.
I saw a lot of comedians who have made Malaysian Airlines joke before come out and condemn Jocelyn Chia.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so don't do that.
Receipts, you got the receipts.
Damn. Don't do that. I mean, come on. Next day, you read a review of your show that says, this guy was really racist against Chinese people. Yes, and I think these people, they don't get how multiculturalism really works. I will always defend a comedian's right to make jokes. It's not a serious opinion. There's too many people who take comedy too seriously.
Time is running out. This is your final chance to nominate a loved one to be part of a very special SG60 project that we're doing. Singapore is celebrating its 60th birthday, and Folklory, our audio service, is marking this milestone in a very special way. We'll be interviewing 60 Singaporean seniors over 60 years old to capture their life stories for our Words of Wisdom project. But interview spots are disappearing fast. Your parent, grandparent, or that wise uncle could miss their place in history if you don't act now. Here's the best part. It's a heartfelt one-on-one interview done remotely. No travel, just their life story recorded from home. Nominate them right now at the link in the show notes. And don't forget, the first interviews are already live. Hear them now at the same link. But hurry, we're closing nominations soon. And now, on to the podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
So today we got a special episode with someone who we recently shared the stage with. Very honored to share the stage with him. It is stand-up comic Jinx Yeo. Welcome to the show, man.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to Yala Butt.
Welcome to Yala Butt.
Yeah, so I mean, everyone can tell that you're a very extroverted personality and all that, right? So we're like, okay, we gotta get this guy on the podcast because he's gonna like tell all the improv jokes and everything also.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I think the happy ever laughter, I don't know for you, for me, it was very interesting seeing all the different styles of comedians in Singapore. And you're all at the top of your game, and top of the heap in Singapore, right? But even between all of you, very, very different styles of comedy as well.
Yeah.
But for you, have you always felt like you were different from the other comedians in Singapore?
See, that's the thing. I don't feel myself that different. When I do it, like I guess it's a bit like kind of like when you have an accent. To you don't have an accent, right?
Okay.
Like for me, like I don't feel I'm that different from other comedians. But I keep hearing audience members tell me, "Oh, I really love your deadpan style. Oh, you're so deadpan." It's like,
But that's just you.
I've never tried to be deadpan or anything like that. In fact, I try to be more like animated. On stage, I have to off stage, I'm naturally an introvert. So on stage, I have to kind of bring the energy up a little bit, like try to be more energetic than I am usually.
Yeah.
Or be a bit more animated than I am usually, like try to be, not be so low energy on stage. Right? So I actually try to bring the energy up, and then people still tell me, "Oh, you're so deadpan," and all that. Okay, fine. I guess that's what I am.
So have you, I'm assuming you have always been introverted, lah.
I've always been introverted.
So then, what drove you to a career where you're literally standing in front of hundreds of people, telling jokes?
It was because I wanted to overcome my introversion. So it's I went to I think it must be 14 plus years back. Okay, I went to an comedy open mic just to watch as an audience. And at the end of the show, the MC said, "Oh, this is an open mic, so if anybody wants to try stand-up comedy, talk to me after the show. I can put you on next week."
Yeah.
And so I wanted to overcome my stage fright, so I thought I would sign up. Maybe I'll do it a couple times. I thought maybe I'll just do it once. If I don't like it, I'll stop doing it. So but I signed up, and then I went and did it once. The next week I went on, did it once, and I enjoyed it enough. I'll do it again. Yeah.
But I mean, to overcome stage fright, you could also be a dancer or like a singer. But how come you chose comedy for it?
Or less skills needed.
No, but like at that point in time, what made you feel like it was something you needed to overcome? Because by then you, I assume you had already started in the workforce and you were an adult already, right?
Yeah. But still, I was like my whole life I've been like really introverted and all that, and it's always something like I felt like you should work on this. You should get out. So So that time when I enjoyed the comedy, and also sometimes I have funny thoughts, like sometimes I don't say them out, but I have funny thoughts. So I thought, maybe I'll go on stage. I can try this.
But was there something around that time that pushed you? Because for example, right, I think one of the first videos I made and posted online was a video that I wanted to make a girl who ghosted me jealous.
Okay.
And that was a video that Terrence saw.
All right.
And he realized that, okay, here's someone with no dignity, basically. But that was a driving force, Like, I felt she ghosted me and I wanted to show I was having an awesome time when, in actual fact, I was just spending all my time editing the video, which was damn sad,
Okay, yeah.
But around that time when you felt like, hey, because I mean, you've gone through years of your life already, maybe understanding that is a problem, or understanding you wanted to overcome, but around that time, suddenly you decided to go into stand-up comedy.
Well, it was a chance, just by chance that, a friend invited me to this open mic to watch.
Yeah.
And then I enjoyed it enough. Hey, these guys are pretty funny. Then maybe I could try to... Like if you say something dancing or singing, well, I need to learn dancing and singing before I go on stage, right? But I didn't know there was so before that I watched stand-up comedy before.
Yeah.
But I always thought to get on stage you have to be like a professional already and then you get on stage. I didn't know there was such a thing as open mics.
Oh, so that was the turning...
until my friend invited me to that open mic and then, there's such a thing as open mics. Like I can just go on stage and try it. I'll do that. Yeah.
I see. But then, but you talk about comedy being easier than singing or dancing, but there's a craft to the comedy also, right? And then I say this only because sharing the backstage area with all the comedians, including yourself, I saw like everyone was preparing in their own way. Yeah. And I think the most striking one on the first night was watching you meditate before you went on stage, right? So,
were you taking a nap?
So I think I was like,
let's call it meditation. That sounds better.
So I was like, wow, very, very serious. As in everyone's really taking this really seriously.
Okay.
So it does feel like there's a lot of craft to the work that you do also. Right?
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's easier than the singing or dancing. It's just that in comedy, you learn by doing it.
Okay.
It's not like singing or dancing, you have to learn first and then you go do it. You can't just go on stage like on your first dance lesson and
perform.
Well, comedy, like kind of the way you learn it is to do it because everybody has to figure out their own voice and the process of that you have to be write your own original jokes. So the process of that is you go on stage and learn what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's easier than dancing or singing, but I would say that the process. You can start by going on stage. In fact, that's if somebody comes up and asks me, "Hey, how do I get started?"
Go on stage
in comedy. Right? Often people ask me, "How do I start on comedy?" I've been thinking about doing it for many years now. I've been trying to write jokes and all that and study. And I tell them, go on stage first. It's not one of the things you can learn by studying and all that. You go on stage and find out what works, what doesn't work, because that's the process of finding your voice.
So the first time you went on stage, because I mean we've done stand-up before, and it was like I look back at it, I'm like, that was such a, I wouldn't say traumatic, but it's just a realization that holy shit, this is hard lah. This is not easy.
Yeah.
I can't say it made me want to do more of it. Like when we were for Happy Ever After, we got to do it in a format that felt a lot more natural, but it wasn't stand-up comedy per se. So when you went up that first time, did it go well or did you bomb? And what made you want to go back the next week?
Okay, when I went up, in hindsight, when I look back at it now, I was really bad. But somehow that time it went well. Somehow it went like these. Not every joke hit. Some parts went. But
you got some laughs, You got
some laughs, And the thing is, when you're a beginner, and you get some laughs, even if it's not a lot of laughs, you feel like, whoa, I can do this. It's like, yeah. So I mean, I enjoyed it enough that I went back to do it again. So yeah.
Then, I mean, in the Singapore audience back then, also probably was a bit more starved of stand-up comics in Singapore, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That era that you entered the industry, I think it was maybe Rishi and also around the same period, right?
Yeah. That would have been 2011, is it?
2011, yeah.
Because I remember 2011, we were thinking of doing comedy videos and all, and I remember going to Home Club at River Valley?
Riverwalk?
Yeah,
Riverwalk, and seeing Faz and Rishi, maybe even yourself.
Yeah, probably.
So that was when you started comedy?
Yeah. Well, like Fast Rishi and we started around the same time. Yeah.
But what was the scene like back then? Was everyone like very supportive of each other? And,
Yeah, it was very supportive. I mean, there weren't a lot of open micers. I think that time there was just one weekly open mic, Comedy Masala.
Yeah.
So now it's Comedy Masala still going on, but it's no longer an open mic. But back then it was an open mic, and for new comedians to come and try. And I think it was a few months after I started when it really started to take off. Like suddenly, like when I first started, the crowds were quite small. And then a few months after I started, like somehow it just caught on, and like we started to get really big audiences.
So within that short period of time?
Yeah, within the first few months, I think like probably like first half of 2011, suddenly like it got out that there was this open mic at Riverwalk, home club, and yeah, we started getting really big audiences, and then they stopped being an open mic. They started to like, okay, we need to vet the audience, vet the comics, and do a lineup and all that.
So how much of that do you attribute to yourself?
Oh, I don't know. I would like I would like to think I played a part in that. I don't know, because like the first few months I was still like very beginner. When I look back at the jokes I was doing back then, and now I look at it as, that's so amateur. Like so.
But I mean, at the same time, like when you say that the comic scene, everyone is helping each other and all that, right?
Yeah.
In some ways, the Singapore scene, we felt it also backstage. Everybody was very supportive of each other,
for help,
for happy ever laughter. And I was quite shocked because I thought you'll be ragging each other and like shitting on each other's jokes, and I thought that's what happens backstage in like comedy clubs and all, but. I was just so surprised that the first day we went there and people were giving presents to each other. Everyone was like competing to see who will give the nicest present and all that. So, is that normal? Like a normal scene in most countries, or is it just Singapore?
I don't know. Like the present thing is, it doesn't happen at every show. Maybe that show, yeah. But yeah, I mean, where I've been to, I mean, when I've been to like other countries, I think that Singapore is maybe a result of being a very small country, and therefore like the comedians all know each other.
Yeah.
Because I've been to countries, for example, the UK, and there'll be comedians who like maybe two different comedians who've each been doing it 20 years and they don't know each other, like stuff like that, because it's such a big scene, and so many, and they live in different parts and they work different rooms and all that. Whereas in Singapore, we all work the same rooms. All the comedians basically work the same rooms, and we all know each other. We all work together before.
But if you look at what happened in like the YouTube scene, for example, because when we joined, incidentally, our first video we uploaded was also 2011. Something was brewing in Singapore, man, that resulted in so many things in 2011. But initially, it was very collegiate and like people were getting along. But then the moment people started doing it for livelihood and building businesses around it, then it suddenly started getting damn drama and political and toxic. So yeah, even the same thing when I was, one of my favorite things about that whole Happy Ever After experience was being backstage. And the comedians were helping each other out. Like you gave us a note which we incorporated into the set and made a joke better. And then I also was like, fuck, everyone is so nice. Then that's why the last day we also were preparing some gifts and all that, because we were like, oh shit, everyone is so nice. So I think maybe like there's something special about the scene in Singapore that still doesn't feel political, because it's been quite a while and people are doing it professionally now. When you started, you had a full-time job that wasn't comedy, right?
Right, yeah.
And that one almost feels like when people were doing it just for content, everybody was collaborating, but suddenly it got very cutthroat. But nice to see that the comedy scene, it doesn't feel that way, but by and large.
But then for you, like what point did you decide that, okay, I'm going to try and make comedy my full-time thing? Right? Because I think for the most part, it was, and when you started, it wasn't that, right?
Yeah.
You were doing it alongside a regular job.
Yeah. And then I think in 2016, I wanted to, it was 2015, I went to the Edinburgh Fringe and watched, and like, I went to the UK, do some comedy, went to the Edinburgh Fringe, and then there was a comedian there, it was a good friend of mine, Imran Yusof. He told me, he encouraged me, hey, just go to the. So when I went to the UK, I wasn't planning to wasn't planning to visit the Fringe yet, but Imran told me, hey, you're here, you should go visit the Fringe. Go get some spots, do some spots over there and just feel it out. And he says, and he also, what he said was, you go to the Fringe, the worst thing that can happen is you become a better comic. That's Imran Yusuf quote. Okay, so, right. So so I went to do the Fringe, and after that, and then there's another comedian, Andre Vincent, told me, hey, there's a Fringe, and in Australia there are all these festivals as well. You should go try doing them.
And for context, for people who might not be aware of what the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is, how would you describe it?
So it's like this arts festival that is, if you want to do a show, you can just go. It's not like there's a gatekeeper or anything like that. So it's like very open access. So basically, if you want to go do a show, you just apply the Edinburgh Fringe. Basically, as long as you got a venue willing you to give you a room at this time slot to do your show, you can go.
There's no curation about what you're going to say.
No curation, no gatekeeping. It's like So a lot of people go there. It's probably by far the busiest month in Edinburgh. like everywhere you go, from day to night, you have shows running from like maybe 6 a.m. all the way to like 3-4 a.m. It's like the whole day. You can morning there's kids shows or some stand-up comedy shows, family-friendly stand-up comedy shows, and then runs all the way to the end. So when I was there, like in one day, so there's so many opportunities to get stage time there if you go to the Edinburgh Fringe, and it's almost like in one day you can get as much stage time as you get like maybe in 1 month in Singapore. The number of spots you do, like 15-20 spots is possible.
Really?
Yeah.
And it was there that you felt there was
that was like my first real experience of like a festival, like a comedy festival. And then I want to do this. Andre Vincent told me about the festivals in Australia. So I thought the next year, 2016, I'm going to try to do the festivals in Australia. But then the thing is, if I go do the festivals in Australia, I won't have time to like do my other like my job, right? So then 2016 I had to like, I want to go do the festivals in Australia. I have to do this full time. Like I have to give up my other job.
And what was your job at that time?
I was a copywriter, freelance copywriter.
Freelance copywriter.
Yeah.
So writing has always been something you've been interested in?
I wouldn't say interested in, but I mean, it is an interest of mine. Certain kinds of writing, interested in that. Is like, I guess it's something I'm interested in. Like, I wouldn't think of like writing like a fictional story or anything like that. That's not my thing. But certain kinds of writing, like writing advertising, writing jokes, I enjoy that.
So was it a tough decision to decide to do comedy full time? Because I mean, the very Singaporean mindset. It's not common that people would be like, you know what, I'm going to give up a stable, like a career, a freelance career to focus on comedy. Yeah.
I mean, the main thing is like, can I make enough money? The interest part wasn't a big question at all. Like I was more interested in comedy than I enjoyed advertising too, but that wasn't my main interest. I was more interested in comedy. So the interest part is easy, and I think the main part that required like a bit of a leap of faith is that, can I make enough money doing comedy
to sustain yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact you're still doing it 9 years later means like it's possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also do recall a number of years back already, like your social media game was also quite strong already. Like on Facebook, I remember you posted like these clips from your own performances and all. And they were always with the very
white
buzzworthy titles. Asian man, destroys white culture or something
white
like
colonialist,
that.
white colonialist.
Yeah. Was that you doing it, or was this like somebody helping you there? Because your advertising background.
Maybe a bit of that is my advertising background.
I remember that Asian man destroys
colonialism. Asian nerd roast the British. I think that was the title of the. That was the only one that really went viral. But that one, like for some reason, like after that clip went viral, if you went on Google for many years, if you went on Google and searched the words Asian nerd, I would be the number one.
The man, wow.
I would be the number one on Google for Asian nerd. Like this is the stereotype
definition.
But that's the question. Like those the clips that went viral, right?
Yeah.
They went viral internationally, right? Not just Singapore. Anything. Did that lead to a lot of interest in booking you for stand-up comedy and all as well?
So I think that clip went viral in late 2018, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Late 2018 or early 2019. And I didn't, when it went viral, I'm not that good on social media. I don't go on social media that often this view, like check my stats every day, you know, all this stuff. When it went viral the first couple of weeks, I didn't realize it was going viral.
How come so many messages?
No, it's just that at the time it was like late 2018, early 2019. 2019, I had some shows in Perth.
Okay.
Some shows in Perth that you know, the ticketing already went online in like late 2018, early 2019. I was just realizing, why are my shows all sold out? Like,
also, it did lead directly to the shows getting sold out.
In Perth. Like it's like I haven't even gone to Perth to promote yet. Why are my shows all sold out? Like, it's like
then you trace it back.
Then I started seeing my like, you know, I don't check my Facebook page that often, but then there's all these notifications coming up. Why are there so many notifications? And then like I went in, okay, this clip is taking off.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember 2018. I mean, now a video on TikTok goes viral, you get 50 million views, which is insane. La. But in 2018, going viral, I remember it being super viral back then. La.
Yeah.
Right.
And the weird thing is, some of those views, you don't even see it on the Facebook stats, because from what I heard, people would just download and forward it in family WhatsApp groups and all that. Apparently, I keep having friends telling me, you know, my auntie sent me your video.
Yeah.
In the family WhatsApp group, it's always aunties, uncles, and all that. I don't know. Like, if you come to my shows, you'll notice I have an older demographic than usual. Than general. Like, usually in Singapore, most comedy shows, there's very young people go to. My shows get, I think, proportionately more like older, middle-aged people than other shows.
But I mean, talk about demographics. So when I listen to your comedy, even like the recent Help as well, to me, it's quite clear that you're going for, you know, and when you talk about Asian problems, it's Asians, right? You know, not specifically like Chinese, Malay, Indian, all this. Yeah. So is that a very deliberate choice so that you can, you know, hit the markets where in America, everyone from Asia is just called Asian, or generically. They don't know the differences between cultures. But is it for you to be able to hit the Western market more easily as well?
Well, part of it is that because for a few years I was performing a lot of like Australia, UK, and all these like festivals and all that. I had to make my comedy more global, more like cast a wider net
for white people to laugh at.
But part of it also is like in Singapore, being Chinese, you know, majority race, it's not nice to go like make a lot of Malay Indian jokes. You know? Right. So part of it is that as well.
I see. Yeah. And so over the years, have you found like very big differences between how, you know, Western audiences versus Singapore audiences take to your brand of comedy?
Definitely some differences, and surprisingly, some of the, you know, the Asian jokes like in Asia works better than it does. Like sometimes, like I would say the comedy, like we're performing, let's say Australia or UK, right? The comedy audiences they love the Asian jokes, but sometimes you get these like reviewers or journalists. They come to the show and then you next day you read a review of your show that says this guy was really racist against Chinese people.
Because they don't realize that you are from Singapore.
Yes, and I think these people they don't get how like multiculturalism really works. You know, like in Singapore we're truly multicultural. We grow up with each other in the schools, and in the schools we're just making racist jokes at each other. But that's affection, right? In school, that's how we express affection to each other.
That's racial harmony. That's racial harmony.
That's racial harmony.
Two Chinese people saying that.
You can apologize off camera later.
No, but the thing is, sounds like you were making fun of Chinese people, which is your own race.
Basically making fun of myself, my own background and all that. But this journalist come out and say, this guy makes a lot of racist jokes against Chinese people. And I was like, it happens, yeah. So another weird thing about this review was they can't tell the different Chinese comedians apart. Yeah.
Oh, seriously? So they mistook you for someone else?
Mistook me for, like, for example, Melbourne Comedy Festival. There was this Douglas Lim, you know, Malaysian comedian. So there was this guy. So he watched me like perform at this reviewer watched me perform at this showcase show called, at a venue called Elephant and Wheelbarrow.
Okay.
Right, and then he wrote the reviewer, yeah. And Jinx Yeo was really great, and so I think I'm going to check out his solo show. So that time I was performing, I think a show at the Chinese Museum.
Okay.
And Douglas Lim was also performing a show at the Chinese Museum. So we they put the Chinese people in the Chinese Museum.
Wow.
At the Melbourne Comedy Festival, they put us in the Chinese Museum. But so this guy said he wanted to come to my show.
Yeah.
And then a few days later, I saw a review, and this guy wrote a review of Douglas Lim's show. And he said, I saw Douglas Lim perform at the Elephant and Wheelbarrow, and so I came to check out his shows.
Oh my God.
And then I checked, Douglas Lim didn't perform at the Elephant and Wheelbarrow. He didn't do that show. So this guy came saw me at the showcase, wanted to come to my show, went to the Chinese Museum, went to Douglas Lim shows instead,
thought it was
the same guy. Didn't realize the difference. So.
Doesn't that piss you off? Does it irritate you?
What can I say? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a friend of mine, George Zach. He has this joke: if you're going to mistake me for a different comedian, that guy better be Chinese as well. To paraphrase the guy's joke. So I mean, it happens. Another one happened with this guy. Again at the same comedy festival, this guy, another comedian, came up to me and said, "Hey, you know this comedian called Storm Shi, China comedian." I was like, "Yeah. I like Storm Shi is a good friend of mine." Right? And then this guy went, "Oh, I really love his joke about how his doctor wife tells him he has a small penis," and I'm like, "Hey, that's Jason Leong's joke."
So it's just mixing everyone.
So even a comedian couldn't tell,
Get mixed up.
Mixed up, yes.
But then does that irritate you that you have to perform for audiences that have obviously probably have stereotypes of Asian people in their head and everything? Does it get to you wow, it makes you irritated by that?
Or do you leverage that?
Leverage that?
It is what it is, right? This is just what happens, I try not to judge it too much and just deal with what we have,
So then, what then gives you the meat for your comedy? Because I mean, I like your comedy because I find your comedy always makes me think or think differently.
Yeah.
But how do you find ideas, or what pulls you to make fun of a certain thing?
I don't really have a strict answer. It can be quite random, like when I read, let's say I read a certain story in the news and suddenly an idea pops into my head, and then I think I can make something from this, and I go try it out on stage and all that. I don't really have a this is the way I do it. The writing process to me is still quite random. I read certain things or experience certain things, something happens to me and I have an idea about it, and then I'll try to make a joke out of it.
But then are you able to take stuff from Singapore and then make it palatable for international audiences? Like, for example, you had this great set about economy rise, right?
Yeah.
Which is probably a very foreign concept to people in Melbourne and all this. How would you be able to take that joke out of Singapore and then bring it to the Melbourne context? Do they understand, or do you just not try that?
That joke, I have to think about it. I might not be able to do that in Melbourne because a lot of the punchlines in that joke, it really relies on people knowing having had the experience of ordering economic rice.
Okay.
So I'm making fun of the whole experience of ordering economic rice. But there are certain jokes, for example, like when I joke about how Singapore censors the arts and all that, and you have to submit a script for approval and all that to perform and all that stuff. I've done that in Melbourne before. I just add a little bit of explanation that, in Singapore we have the censorship board, and you have to perform at the theatre, you have to submit your script for for the government to approve your jokes, because obviously we know the Singapore government has a great sense of humor and stuff like that, just explain the background and then you can do the joke.
And probably they have some idea of Singapore being that very fine city, right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Australians probably, they even if they haven't been to Singapore, they know the reputation of Singapore, very straight-laced and follow the rules. And
do you think it's gotten because in 2011 when you started everything, probably a lot of people thought Singapore was still part of China or something like that, right? But now, we got Crazy Rich Asians, we got a lot more F1 and everything. We got all these things that put us on international stage.
Yeah.
Do you find that allows you to use more material about Singapore in your jokes to Western audiences?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the Western audiences who come to the comedy shows, I think they tend to be more savvy and more about these things. They know these things. I think people who come to comedy shows, I think they tend to be more. They know these things. Otherwise, I think it's hard to. Maybe because it might be hard to enjoy a comedy show when you don't know this country is there and all the references. It might be hard to enjoy.
That's true.
So people come to comedy show, I think they tend to be a bit more educated on these things. Although I do sometimes like when I post videos online, sometimes in the comments, this guy, why does he say he's from Singapore? And stuff like that, it's like, this guy is in Singapore, why does he have a Chinese accent? Or the kind of, this kind of things. They don't know that much about Singapore. Obviously, they don't know much about Singapore and all that. So you get that in like comments. But I think the people who pay tickets to come to a comedy show, I think that's a bit of a selection process. To pay ticket to go to a comedy show, it tends to filter out the people who like really ignorant about the world.
So you mentioned that like a joke you do overseas is about the censorship in Singapore, having to approve a script. But do you think the censorship is like limiting you as a stand-up comic, or does it give you parameters within which you need to force yourself to be more creative, which in a way is a good thing?
The censorship that, from what I understand, they're mostly looking for don't incite like race, don't incite like race riot from your jokes and that kind of stuff. Like what they're looking for is like really like offensive, like racial, religious, that kind of jokes. Which I'm not going to do that anyway. Even if it was legal, that's not what I want to do. Right. So in that sense, I don't think it affects me that much. There is a bit of like, I think it's more the bureaucratic side of that. Right. For example, I've done some small shows where you do a big theater show like the Esplanade, or of course you have to submit a script. Right? Yeah. I tend to run more like many small shows rather than a big show. So these small shows, and then the IMDA process is you have to submit your scripts in like 40 working days. That's 2 months in advance.
So you can't even keep it topical or anything.
No. One thing is you can't keep it topical. Second thing is like for small shows, you don't book X 2 months in advance. Nobody can commit to a small show 2 months in advance because most comedians, they have another job, they have families and all that. Like, in 2 months, a lot of things that can come up that I might have to cancel. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, for a big show at Esplanade, yes, you will commit. Comedians will commit 2 months in advance. But for small shows, comedians don't commit 2 months in advance.
And what is the criteria that mandates you have to submit a script? Is it any ticketed event? Let's say if you were just to go to a bar and do an open mic, that one you don't need one, right?
So I think I'm not a lawyer. My understanding is just that if the venue has a public entertainment license, then you don't have to submit your scripts. That one. If the venue doesn't have a public entertainment license, then which a lot of bars don't, and then you have to submit the script to the IMDA to get an arts entertainment license. That's my understanding.
So then, does it kill you inside to have to write out your joke and submit it in text form without the chance to even deliver your joke? Because writing and reading a joke is very different from hearing a joke.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I wouldn't say it kills me. Like, it is a bit tedious. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is like...
feedback.
I would say the worst part is like I say, there was a time I was doing small shows and because of 40 working days, we submit 40 working days. And then closer to the date, I have to... people pull out, I have to replace the lineup and all that. So I submit the amendment to the IMDA. And they only allow you to submit this many or this many corrections before they start to blacklist you. That's okay. At that time I was working with I probably shouldn't name the venue, but there's a venue that they were sending in the scripts for me.
Okay.
And then they told me, you send this there were many times, like when you submit 40 days in advance for a small show, 40 working days in advance for a small show, there's going to be times, a lot of times when comedians have to pull out. You have to replace them and therefore submit another script and it won't be 40 days in advance. It may be like 2-3 weeks in advance. right? And I did this a number of times, and then the venue, that's how I found out that the venue told me, hey, you submitted this, and IMDA told us, like, if you do this again, we're not going to accept it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, tough.
So these guys, like, it's very bureaucratic. They don't know the actual challenges on the ground, So it's like stuff like that. Yeah.
But so, I mean, the bureaucracy side of things, it's tough. Everyone is very tough to get around. But what about the audience? Because, in media industry, we always hear people don't watch local, they don't support local. Do you think Singaporeans, they appreciate stand-up comedy?
Some of them do. There's always going to be people who just go for the famous comedians, right?
Yeah.
And there are others who they like to try to find the hidden gem comedians, who aren't that famous yet. That's enough. I would say there are quite a sizable segment of Singaporeans. They like to come to support comedy and I would say enough for me to survive. Yeah.
Because I think I was reading something recently where they said Singapore has one of the most vibrant stand-up comedy scenes in Asia. So I was shocked. I was like, seriously? But it sounds like whether it's Jason Leong or Jen Han or even yourself, you're sort of validating that, like the number of acts coming here and everything. The Singaporeans really do crave stand-up comedy, whether from big acts or even like the more local acts as well.
Yeah, I think a big part of that is like English is very commonly spoken here. Because there are some countries in Asia that I go to where, like, let's say if you go to Japan, where the Japanese language comedy is much bigger than the English language comedy, which makes sense. Japanese is much more widely spoken than English over there. Same in countries like Hong Kong, Malaysia, and all that. It's like I think the native language comedy scene tends to be more vibrant than the English language comedy scene. Singapore happens to be one of the countries where English is probably the most widely spoken language here.
Yeah.
And so therefore our English language comedy scene is very vibrant. Yeah. And part of it is also like in Asia in general, the comedians in Asia, most of us, we know each other and all that. They visit each other's countries. We'll set them up with sports and all that stuff. So I would say that helps as well. Yeah, like the way we support each other in Asia, the comedians.
But over the years, have you seen a change in how people react to jokes? Like, is it like now certain jokes people might be afraid to laugh because there's a lot more emphasis for political correctness?
Yeah, stuff like that. Little bit. I say Singapore. Fortunately, we're not that far on the political correctness yet. There's a little bit of that, and a little bit also like stuff like when for example, the Jocelyn Chia made a joke about MH370. I'll tell you, before that, a lot of Singaporeans and Malaysians, we were making jokes about MH370. It's not a uncommon thing to make jokes about Malaysian Airlines. And the people who come to comedy shows, they get the context. This is a comedy show. This is not your serious opinion. Yeah, we laugh at it. It's a joke. It's not. And somehow, again, this is how comedy can be taken out of context, right? Jocelyn Chia posted a clip online and about the Malaysian Airlines thing, and then somehow people who don't go to comedy shows, these are the easily offended people, like they took issue with that, and
Vivian Balakrishnan had to make a statement,
stuff like that. In Asia, I think there's this culture where we like to pander to the complainers. Politicians like to pander to the complainers. I don't think they should do that, but they do that. So just the context is a comedy show, right? If you watch a clip online out of the context, you get offended. Hey, just understand the context is a comedy show, right? And a comedy show and it's interesting, when that happened, I saw a lot of comedians who have made Malaysian Airlines joke before come out and condemn Jocelyn Chia.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so don't do that.
Receipts, you got the receipts.
Damn.
Don't do that. I mean, come on. It's a joke. You're a comedian. I will defend. I will always defend a comedian's right to make jokes. It's not a serious opinion. There's too many people who take comedy too seriously. And they get offended. Yeah.
So do you also believe that there is nothing you cannot make a joke about?
Yeah, I do believe that. I've made Malaysian Airlines joke before.
Oh,
Come to think of it, I might still have a clip old clip, maybe still on my social media where I made fun of. I don't know if you want to go find that, dig that out and cancel me, but I'll admit it here, I have made Malaysian Airlines joke before in Malaysia, and the audience loved it. That's what I mean by people who come to comedy shows, they get the context and they don't get offended by such stuff. So it's like if you're not at a comedy show and you take a video out of context, that's on you.
So is there a part of you that has a little seed of fear that, some days you might say something and whether it's fair or not, you might be cancelled, or someone might dig up something from the past and find some reason to shit on you. Is that fear there, or for you? No, doesn't.
Yeah, that part of there is that part at the back of my mind, but I feel like you can't really let this fear shadow everything you do. So you just have to go with it, and if it happens, it happens. You just deal with it. Yeah.
So I mean, with that context of what Singapore bureaucracy and people being sensitive certain things or not sensitive certain things, what do you see as the pinnacle for a Singaporean stand-up comedian in Singapore? I mean, we know for Rishi is NDP, hosting NDP.
He reached the pinnacle already. He
and
reached
six pack. But for you, what do you see as the pinnacle?
For me, I do want to. For the past few years, I wasn't touring that much because I was looking after my dad, all that. But I do want to tour worldwide, and so therefore, I don't just want to be known in Singapore. I want to try to be known worldwide as well. And yeah, if I can have a successful tour worldwide, I would think that's great. I mean in Singapore is no matter how big you get in Singapore, it's still a very small market. And of course I want to get big in Singapore, but I also want to get big worldwide. Hopefully I can tour and travel and all that. Part of the dream of being a comedian, you get to travel and then do shows and visit all these countries, and yeah.
So then, when you say you want to be big worldwide, what is the motivation behind it? Is it because the bigger you are, the more, gigs come your way, the more you can sustain yourself financially, or is there something more to it? Or is that part of your personality that if you do something, you want to be the best at it?
Well, I think part of it is if you want to travel and do shows, it's very difficult if the people in that country don't know who you are, because when you go do an overseas show, you only have a very limited amount of time to it's not like I'm in Singapore all year. If I can do shows, I can promote it. When you go to a country, usually you're there for maybe a couple of weeks, a month at most, and you have this limited window to push and sell your tickets, and therefore if you're not known, nobody knows you over there, is a lot more challenging. So I find for example, I went to do the comedy festivals in Australia, and the first year was really challenging because that was the first time I go to try to promote my own shows in Australia.
Yeah.
So the second year was a bit easier because after having performed there before, some people know me and they see my name again. They come to my shows, and then the third year, fourth year it got easier and easier as more people knew about you. So
So there's no plan to pivot towards doing TikTok content or be a TikTok comedian? Because interesting thing is, I think Jackie was the one who, during that point when we were all backstage, she kind of explained that there's the art of being a stand-up comedian. It runs entirely counter to what it takes to be a TikTok, content creator, where you can shoot and edit stuff out, and just do it a million times, do a million takes until the video is perfect, right? Whereas stand-up comedy, you really have to be out there and bomb and just test stuff, and like you say, just learn by doing. So to actually, you can't possibly pursue the two of them together and become good at both. That's what he was saying. But for you, is there a difference since you've actually gone viral with your online content before?
Yeah, it went viral, but that was a long time ago. So I don't know how to do it again. Like I say, I'm actually quite an idiot when it comes to social media. I'm quite a boomer when it comes to social media. Sometimes people see me, like my own girlfriend, when she sees me do a social media, she says, "You are such a boomer."
But that might be charming. You own it as long as you own it.
I don't know much about being a TikTok comedian.
Okay.
I guess I'll take what Jackie says. He probably knows a lot more than me about social media. So I'm sure. What I would say is I have seen like some TikTok comedians who try to come over to because they got big on TikTok. They think stand up is easy. They try to come on. I think I saw a clip of this guy got on one of the American late night TV shows or something like that. I can't remember, was it Jimmy Kimmel or Conan or one of them, Jimmy Fallon. One of them, he was a TikTok comedian, and because he was big on TikTok, they put him on one of those late night TV shows, and he did really badly.
That 5 minute segment.
Yeah, because just because like he didn't have the experience of like performing to a real live audience and what that's like to make an audience who doesn't know you laugh.
Right. I would love to watch that.
Yeah, so I can't remember the name of the comedian. I don't even remember what show it was. I just remember seeing that.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow, it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
But I mean, so for you, it's really the craft, staying with the craft of stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And then hopefully going on tour around the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
But does that kind of like also intimidate you that, oh shit, yes, tour, traveling is good, but there's going to be so many new people I'm going to meet, as an introvert. Is that something that, like, I mean, like, let's say even for us, when we used to do Ministry of Funny videos, every day before a shoot where we're going on the street and I have to make a fool of myself, I'll be thinking, fuck, okay, I have to do this tomorrow. But the bigger picture made it always worth it. Whereas for now, podcasting, I love so much more of the whole production process. For you, traveling and comedy shows, like, do you still get nervous before stage? Do you still get nervous before a trip? Do you still feel like, meditate. When you're traveling just on the flight the whole time, do you still have that kind of like thing to navigate?
Yeah, I'm nervous every time before I go on stage. Like I get all this like as an introvert. I thought back when I started, I thought if I do this enough, I wouldn't feel it anymore. No, I still get nervous every time I go on stage.
I mean, in some way, it was heartening to see because when we were backstage, I remember, you were meditating. Rishi was pacing up and down. Rashid was reading.
Reading.
Well, I've never seen him read in my life. And it was in some way heartening to know that you all have been doing this for years. And honestly, us watching from the sides, we're like, wow, you all own the stage. We all still get nervous. So it made me getting nervous feel like less like, oh shit, like imposter syndrome like that.
It's part of the process.
Yeah,
I think it's part of the process. I don't think that it's part of being human. I think, nowadays there's all these like Gen Z, Gen Alpha. I can't go to work because of anxiety and all that stuff. Come on, it's part of being human. All these emotions, you can't just have the good emotions. Being human, you can't just have the good emotions without the bad emotions. That doesn't work.
It's a balance.
Yeah, you will feel these emotions and you just go ahead and do it anyway. It's just part of being human.
So Happy Ever Laughter was a very political comedy show, right? Like, do you enjoy doing political kind of comedy in Singapore?
Yeah, to the extent that the audience gets it, then yes. I mean, you have to find like the I guess like what the audience I think you can't go too far into stuff that like political. They are, for example, I've seen some comedians, they go like really deep into the politics where people need to have a really like political comedians in the US. Some of them you really have to know
what's going on,
a lot about what's going on and all that, and to get the jokes. So that's the thing. Yes, you have to find what the references that the audience will get, because not every audience member will be as tuned into politics as you are. If let's say you're a political comedian, right? So in Singapore, I find that's the thing. Like if you have really deep references about the politics, the audience might not get that.
Correct. Yeah, I think we felt that ourselves.
Like very niche. Like this story that came out, but not many people read about it.
Correct,
you might not be able to use that reference.
Yeah, I think we felt that ourselves because we thought, political comedy show, like we can really go deep, But I realized half the time you got that short amount of time on stage, you throw up a name or two, if people don't know that name, and then the whole joke just falls flat already, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, in that sense, it was quite lucky for us that, we had all the comedians sort of like softening up the audience and getting ready for political comedy. So I think around, ours was about midpoint where...
Ours was right after Jinx.
Yeah, right after you, yeah. So people were already ready to just laugh at anything. I mean, not say anything, but they were primed already. And that's the part I felt like, oh, this is why the whole show comes, this is how the whole show comes together, right? And I understood that it's really, part of a larger performance that we are part of. It's not just one comedian who's like anchoring the whole thing and all, which was great. Yeah.
But what's your process of writing and refining a joke? I know just now I asked you about ideas, but one thing that has always struck me is that you're very diligent about recording your own performance. Are you very methodical about, changing one word? Because I know when I listen to people like Jerry Seinfeld, he says, the cadence, the number of syllables all matter. Yeah. Is that something that is along the lines of how you think about your jokes?
I mean, there is a part of that. A part of it is I find the difference performing in let's say Singapore versus like white countries.
Yeah.
In like Australia and UK, where Australia and UK I find like they get more subtleties of the language.
Okay.
If you have like a punchline that's like a very subtle wordplay and all that, they get that a lot more in Australia and the UK compared to in Singapore. They might not get that.
Singapore's what?
I think it's more like the intricacies of the language. Like Australia and UK, they get more like more of like the subtle wordplay or double entendres, the intricacy. Whereas in Singapore, I think they tend to laugh more at like the idea. Like if you have very subtle wordplay, a lot of times it goes over the audience's head and all that. So because of we don't use that many intricacies of the language, I think. So there's things like that. So I think Jerry Seinfeld, I think he's right about that. You can change a word and all that. Although that sometimes works in Singapore, sometimes it doesn't because of like the English language. We don't use that many intricacies. We tend to like
there's the efficiency of language.
Stuff like that. Yeah, but there still have been jokes where you sometimes you change one thing and then that is a part of the discovery process. So you go on stage, you try the joke and see if it works, and then if it doesn't work, you go back and go try to rewrite it, try to rework it and all that. Yeah.
So you host your own show every week, right? Every comedy show every week.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of young new acts also come to your show, which I think we also tested some material at one of your shows, and it was cool to see that there's a lot of younger, newer acts also that are being featured, right? How do you feel about the future of the comedy scene in Singapore?
Well, I think I'm optimistic. Like there's things I wish the government will like let go of the reins a little bit and just let us be artists. Don't be so controlling. Submit scripts and all that. I really hate that. So I overall I'm optimistic. We have like since after COVID, there was been a lot of new comedians come out, and the comedy scene in Singapore is actually more vibrant now than it was before COVID, which is surprising.
Oh, okay.
Which is surprising. So,
because I mean, Malaysia has been the reverse, right? Malaysia,
Malaysia has
big clamp down,
and overall, I'm happy that in Singapore we can. I complain about IMDA and all that, but overall, we have a good climate here for comedy.
And plus, people are getting more stress, which means more laughter will always be appreciated.
Yeah.
So, from doing comedy and traveling around the world and telling your jokes, anything about that whole process that has made you think differently about, I don't know, society or people in general?
What I don't get what you mean, like
so I mean, like, for example, I mean, when we started doing content, like understanding what like the role of a protagonist in a story makes me look at people in their own lives. And I mean, everyone, you hear the saying, everyone is the protagonist of their own story, right? So I found that studying character development has made me more curious about people in general. Because when you're writing a character, you want to think about the backstory and how everything influences their actions. And it has changed my outlook on how I interact with people also. So from doing comedy, and a lot of your comedy is observational, right? Which I love. Has that made you realize anything about the way people interact or how similar we are despite our differences and all that kumbaya? nonsense.
Yeah, actually, yeah. As you write comedy, you tend to think more about like things that you don't usually think about. Like when you're trying to get to a punchline, you're trying to analyze this the funniness of human behavior. All the oddities of human behavior and all that. Like, yeah, you tend to think more about it, and also like part of it is like when you travel overseas, you see a lot more different styles of comedy than you see in Singapore. In Singapore, there's I guess in other countries there's more alternative forms of comedy. You see a lot of different like you see some people do clowning, you see some people do like different kinds of like comedy magic and stuff like that. Different ways of doing comedy, and that kind of opens your eyes a bit of what's possible in comedy whereas in Singapore it's mostly like straight stand-up comedian,
Tell joke,
punchline, and there's a lot more less. There's a lot of these less conventional kinds of comedy overseas overseas where I don't think we have that kind of audience in Singapore yet. But that kind of opens your eyes as well.
So where in the world is your favorite comedy scene?
I wouldn't say favorite. I have a few different. So like I said, I like that in certain countries like Australia and the UK that they get the more subtle punchlines and all that, and so that's it. Whereas and there's other places that are favorites for different reasons. When I went to India, I noticed that the Indian audiences, they laugh really big reactions, like really big reactions. Really? They're like, I guess I've heard people say in America that the Black Americans that they're the best audiences.
Oh, really?
The black audiences are the best audiences. They laugh with their whole body. Yeah.
So Indians also like that, is it?
So I've never experienced that I haven't performed in America yet. I haven't experienced that. But I went to India. I felt like maybe this is what because they really like react, at the punchlines. I don't know if it was just that specific audience, but I felt like when I perform in India a lot of times.
And plus, if you roast the British, I'm sure they will love it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Interestingly, when that clip went viral, a lot of the reactions were from
India.
I did notice a disproportionate amount of like Indian reactions, and I think there was one Indian. Man, I forget his name. I don't know if Indian. I think he's either a political figure or some public figure who actually quoted my joke in his speech. I think that's.
Really?
And actually, I think that might be what helped it go viral. I don't know. Yeah, there was. Shashi. I can't remember the name.
We can Google it, lah. We can.
Yeah. But there is a clip of.
So did that help sell tickets for your India shows also?
Well, at that year I didn't happen to go to India. So that year I didn't go to India. So no. But yeah, now that I think of it, I remember seeing the clip many years later after the clip went viral. Yeah. Many years later, I saw this Indian politician like quoting and the clip was like few years old, right?
Oh,
so
really?
Is this what helped it go viral? I don't know, but yeah. So
like you do hear some people say that Singapore can be quite stifling creatively. For example, Fazri, right? He came on our podcast and now he's relocated to Malaysia,
right,
to kind of refresh his creative spirit, lah. Yeah. Do you ever see yourself being tempted to relocate into countries with more mature comedy scenes?
I did think about that. In fact, in 2019, I actually tried to go to the UK, move to the UK, and pursue comedy over there. Just because, like, UK has some of the world's best comedians, and like the comedy scene there is a lot more mature than it is in Singapore. You have a lot of different kinds of like I said, different styles of comedy. Yeah. I felt like there was a lot more I could learn from the UK. If going there, I can learn a lot from the UK comedians and all that. So I did try to do that, but unfortunately, 2019, I went there like a couple months in. My mother got sick. I have to come back. So yeah, so
I see.
And then after that, it was COVID. Also,
after it was COVID, yeah.
But now going forward, do you see yourself like anchoring in Singapore and bringing up the scene? Because I echo what Terence said. I think you, Faz and Rishi, are amongst, if not the top people who are elevating comedy in Singapore. Do you feel a certain responsibility to carry on?
I mean, I try to do my part, lah. I try to I have my own shows where I try to like give up and coming comedians like spots to develop and all that. I try to set a good example myself. Comedy wise, try to be the comedian who sets a good example for the up and coming ones. Yes.
So there is that feeling that almost like giving back.
Yeah. Because there was, I mean, it really is giving back, because when I was coming out, there was a comedian who did that for me. The guy was called Jonathan Atherton.
Oh, we've heard a lot about him.
You heard about him?
A lot about him.
He's the guy who he was a professional comedian. He was living in Singapore at that time, tried to bring up the Singapore comedy scene. I mean, he could have just like done all the shows himself, right?
Because he was good, right?
He was good, and like he could have just done all the shows, taken all the corporate gigs himself and all that, and not care about bringing up a comedy scene. But he actually helped to start the open mic scene here. I think Comedy Masala, I think the name actually came from him. He was the guy who contributed the name and started open mic scene there. He was bringing in international comedians to Singapore every month, and then letting us comedians go watch those comedians, and sometimes even give us chances to open for these comedians to learn, and then he will give us like, sometimes he sees our see a performance stage, and he sees us like he'll try to give us a couple of pointers here and there, stuff like that. And yeah, he really helped to bring up the comedy scene in Singapore and in Asia as well. A lot of other countries in Asia as well. So we kind of see him like a godfather of the Singapore comedy. So unfortunately, he passed away a few years back.
So he's like the Lee Kuan Yew of comedy in Singapore.
I would say, like. I don't know.
Well, we have heard almost every comedian say very affectionately like how grateful they are for his work.
Yes.
So would you also say that, like, because I've heard some other comics say this, that you feel the most at home on stage in a comedy club?
Yeah, I think that's accurate. Yeah. On stage, yeah. Well, especially like I said, off stage, before you get on stage, I am nervous, and all that. So yeah, I guess when I'm on stage, I feel at home. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh,
yeah, solid.
Awesome. But yeah, I mean, encourage everyone to go check out your show. And where does it take place? Like, you want to just plug it for our audience?
So I have shows at a venue called Headquarters, that's at Boat Quay, and also at Harry's Boat Quay. So these are both at Boat Quay. You can find the shows at my schedule of upcoming shows at my website, jinxyeo.com.
We can put that in the show notes.
Yeah. JINXYEO.com. And so there you have my upcoming shows. So I do these shows. Most of my shows are at these two venues at Boat Quay.
Yeah. And is it the same day every week, or?
So Headquarters are on Thursdays and Saturdays, and Harry's Boat Quay is Saturdays. So
Saturdays.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the generally I mean, once in a while there'll be a different date, different day of the week, but most of the time that's the schedule.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we can put links to that. We'll put a link to your internationally viral video clip in the show notes also.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Now we just have the final question about the one show thing.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we can go first. You can go after, but to get the ball rolling, Terence, you got your one show thing?
Mine's just very lighthearted one. And just recently, I think like 2 weeks ago, Rosé, the girl from Blackpink who sang Atherton. The song Atherton, right?
Yeah.
I see you nodding like, yes, I totally know. But yeah, I mean, she recently performed live at some festival called Summer Swag. And, the song Atherton is actually a duet that she does with, not say duet, but Bruno Mars, the American singer, actually sings on it, right? But I think this time Bruno Mars wasn't available. So she actually performs the song with Psy. Remember Psy from Gangnam Style? Yeah, and it's like, for someone who, a bit older, where we remember what Gangnam Style was for comedy and music back then, right? How it made like K-pop explode onto the scene, and everyone was, what the hell is this? And then 10 years later, you see Blackpink and Atherton and all that, right? And to see those two worlds come together, it's just like, it's interesting. And the fact that Psy, I mean, he actually like harmonizes the song with her really well. And I realized, oh shit, he can really sing very well. So quite shocking in two ways. Watching something like that. And it's like 10 million views already, this video. But it just makes you feel like, wow, I'm so old that I've seen two generations of like viral K-pop songs, like affect two different generations of people.
Yeah. And I mean, Sai, when Gangnam Style happened, it was insane. I don't know whether we have seen any video go that viral since then.
And that what the fuck element when you watch the video, right? Yeah. I don't think anything has...
it was the first video to cross 1 billion views on YouTube. Wasn't
Yeah.
It was nuts.
It was nuts. Yeah.
Cool. My one show thing is a video that has also been going viral online for different reasons. It's a video put out by this YouTube channel called Jubilee in the US, where they have this series. I mean, they often do this, like they bring like a Palestinian and Israeli person to talk to each other, and they do videos that, I mean, a lot of the videos are quite thought-provoking. They have this series called Surrounded, where they get one person who has a certain perspective, and they surround him or her with 20 individuals. So the person in the middle will put forward a stance. Normally it's like something very debatable. And around the circle, the first person to run to the seat will have a chance to debate with this person. Along the way, if the rest of the people in the circle feel like the person debating is not doing a good job, they can raise a flag and that person will be voted out. If the majority votes them out. And then it carries on. Red flag. So it carries on, and they sometimes get, Republicans and Democrats, LGBTQ activists versus an anti-LGBTQ. So recently they had Mehdi Hassan in a video titled 1 Progressive versus 20 Far-Right Conservatives. Mehdi Hassan was the guy in the middle, and Mehdi Hassan is a British-American progressive broadcaster. He has his own media company, but he also is often quite a commentator on political issues. He's always being brought on as a guest on shows like Piers Morgan, CNBC, CNN, and very progressive, so very left-leaning. So this video, right, as of now, 9 days later, there's 9.2 million views. I'm halfway through. It is so captivating, but also scary at the same time, because he's essentially surrounded, I believe, by 20 white nationalists, I would say. Because even halfway through, right, some of the things that they say. So I think one of his opening statements was Donald Trump is pro-crime and pro-criminal. And then you see some of the arguments that these people come and put forth, right? One guy, he sits down and he asks Mehdi Hassan, "You're from India?" He's like, "No, I'm from London, but I'm American citizen now." He's like, "Oh, I don't know how you got that." Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So then Mehdi Hassan asks him, like, "Are you American?" He's like, "Yes, my family dates back to the 1500s. Then he said, "Okay, so you're not Native American." He's like, "I am Native American." He's a white dude, big white dude. Then Mehdi Hassan said, "You're not Native American. Do you know what happened before the 1500s?" And the white guy says, "Yeah, there were indigenous people, but when we came, we made this country our own." They said, "Do you know indigenous kind of means native?" He's like, "No, I am Native American." So it is, you watch this, you're like, it's almost these people are caricatures. And I know this video has gotten some flack because there is an argument that you are ultimately giving a chance for these people to air their very extremist views. But I mean, thankfully, Mehdi Hassan can debate them. But it's such a captivating watch, right? That I think is a worthwhile watch. And it's insane. It's 1 hour, 40 minutes. And it's a video that I'm not watching on higher speed. Just because it is so unreal. It almost feels like it's scripted.
You're enjoying the white supremacist views out there, savoring every one of them.
No. It's interesting to see how this person debates them. But to just hear some of the thoughts that they put out, it's very scary. It's scary. Have you seen any clips?
Yeah. Not of this one, but I've seen others in the series also.
It's nuts. And the thing is, now people are cutting up just the spiels by the white supremacists and sharing that as like, oh, there are people who think like us. Scary as shit.
Yeah.
So that's my one show thing.
Okay.
What about you, Jinx?
Well, recently I've been watching the Candace Owens podcast. Yeah, and the weird thing is Candace Owens is this person who if you read the mainstream media, they attack her. This is a extremist. This is a crazy person.
Right,
yeah. So I would expect if you believe those, you expect you listen to the podcast is all full of hate speech and all that. But what I like to do is I notice nowadays whenever the media is attacking someone, very often that person you go watch what they actually say is completely different from what the media kind of paints them as. That's something I noticed recently. That I go watch. So she has. I think she recently did a series. Jeffrey Epstein. Recently, America came out and said like, "Oh, this didn't happen." There's no list. There were no pedo. Like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And well, Candice Owens did. I was watching. So I was just seeing her. She actually. When I watch her podcast, she's nothing like what the media presents her to be. She actually like. I would say quite a good journalist. She brings receipts. She does all these investigations and all that. And
it's just her talking.
It's her talking, but she does have like this is what I found. I went to trace and all that stuff. And whether you agree with her or not, she actually has good reasons for believing what she does. Yeah. And so I find it like when I listen that it really challenges my thinking and thought provoking. And a lot of times I find she's not nearly as crazy. I don't find her crazy at all after listening to her. Like I think she may be right, she may be wrong, but she has good reasons for believing one. And so I find it a very thought provoking podcast to listen to. Recently, there's this controversy about the French first lady, like
Macron's wife.
Yes, and all that. I haven't gotten deep into that as well. I haven't watched those yet, but I might go watch it just to find out. Because. Maybe it's not as crazy as I don't know. I haven't.
Majority of our one shot things today quite conservative.
Conservative meaning what?
Yeah, as in mine also.
Right winger.
Right winger, very right wing one shot thing.
Mine's already lighthearted.
Yours is just the liberal left, liberal left. But yeah, thanks so much for coming, man, Jinx, and thanks again for giving us a chance to test our material at your show, lah.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, we really appreciated you because we talked about it on our podcast and we were thinking, oh shit, we got 1.5 weeks. We need to fucking test somewhere, and you reached out, and we really appreciated it, lah.
But actually, I did want to ask, like, was it really strange watching us use a laptop and like deliver? Stand-up, I don't say stand-up comedy. We deliver our show, but we didn't have a screen, so we were using a small laptop.
And it wasn't the most brightly lit, and we were reading off cards. Oh, it was.
Yeah. I mean, you did. I think Harish, you did tell me that was what you're going to do anyway, and I guess that was kind of what I was expecting because two of you, like as a doing podcast stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was kind of. It wasn't too surprising.
If we didn't tell him, then he'd be like, "Guys, what the fuck is this?" Yeah, but cool. So I mean, thanks again. We'll put all the links in the show notes. To everyone listening, please check the work of Jinx out. Check out his shows, and remember to follow us on social media. All the links are in the show notes, and we'll talk to you all very soon.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, man.
Thank you.